This is Monday morning, and so today would be the 19th, I believe, of May 2014. And this is, I'm just going to use Peggy Ann Childers. That's the name I have to use. Um, I'm not allowed to use my real name. I've been putting this on videos for a long time, and even the fact that I can uh, prove and everything, it can be used against me. Um, I can't get attorneys or anything in this, and this is ongoing, just this part. I will say this: I wrote about a book about mind control, and this was I had worked for doctors, and this was back in '77, '78, and I told about programming and modifying behavior, and you're not even aware of it. And even these tapes I'm making, because the law doesn't work for me, I can't get an attorney, nothing. They're afraid of it too. So even the fact that I'm telling about this, even though you can go to YouTube and put in mind control, and you'll get a lot of information there. Now, I was doing this back in '77, '78. And the woman I grew up with, let me insert this, being told she was my mother, I was kidnapped, I found out in '83 after I'd been flown out to Larry Flint's. And by the way, the British told me, his limo driver, this is where he endorsed me, and I had been out there running for U.S. Congress to replace Larry McDonald, a doctor I had written about, in mind control, and about murders that happened at his hospital. So if you didn't know my real name and what this is about, the fact that I wrote the book and ran in campaigns and all that is enough to show you what people will. It's really strange how they react to it. They're afraid of the government. When I came up here, Larry Flint, when I went out there, my jobs were shut down then, and he helped me furnish me a car, leased it for a year, and then I was on foot, and I really had a bad time. Larry Flint, because he told the truth, was even put in Butner, North Carolina federal prison, and they called him crazy and gave him drugs and tortured him while he was out there. This is public record. So anyway, when I came here to Roanoke in '86, I'm allergic to chemicals, and it sounds simple, except I have it's an immune disorder is what it is. And there's no cure for it. Certain chemicals, my immune system will attack itself. That's plain and simple. There's no cure. If it's your home or your apartment, which I'm in a little studio right here, which should have been at least halfway nice, because I don't get halfway nice. I'm penniless most of the time. But anyway, this should have been halfway nice, but it's not. If you're being force-fed chemicals, and that's what they've done, they've run me, it's how they've done it. Law enforcement can get laws that have been broken against people like management or their children, and quite frankly, they'll get them to agree on what's going on with me, and as an agreement not to prosecute them or their children for the crimes or infractions they've committed. So anyway, I'm going to try to make this short, because I've put on here lists of and showing what they've been done to me. I'll get the money to get an apartment, or an apartment, small, and make the security deposit, and then suddenly after going in, paying all that, the air conditioning goes out, and then I'm getting poison air out of it. And where do you go? I can't get an attorney. I went to legal aid. with all this a few years ago here in Roanoke, and a Bostwick was an attorney that Xeroxed all my stuff, and that's the last I heard of him. I kept trying to call back, and then later they told me that he had just left and said that he lost contact with me. Well, I kept calling and leaving messages, and now he's gone, And I can't get an attorney anymore. And it's a mechanism used in this. It's what people are afraid of. I was writing about mind control and how you program people to go out and shoot and kill. Like George Wallace, I started to say that the woman I grew up with, and I've told that on different tapes, was a horrible person. And I was told she was my mother. I was taken to Moulton, Alabama. Now then, I'm going to fast forward to I've written a book about mind controlling, about shootings and programming people. Well, Governor George Wallace of Alabama was in Laurel, Maryland, when he was shot. And Lina Dempsey, who I grew up being told she was my mother, was with him. She was working in his campaign. So, and then I'm working for the district attorney in Huntsville, Alabama, and John Lennon is killed by Martin David Chapman. So there's a long list of these murders that are done that can be proven. The mechanism's invisible. But anyway, I want to go to this. I have been where I couldn't get a job. I took to living on the Appalachian Trail, which is very rough, and froze and starved. And I've named names on here of people here that even told me that everybody around here knew it. They didn't want to get involved. They had fear of repercussions. So I'm going to go to this. My immune system, really, over years, if you have to get away from it. The chemicals. If they're in your home, it's kind of hard to get away if you can't fix the problem. The problem has been that law enforcement has gone around and where I go is controlled. I can't. It looks like I can just pick up and go anywhere, and I can't. Anyway, I'm just going to list this one. Corporate Suites, back in '09, a state trooper, Carl Barton. His wife brought me down off Roanoke Mountain because I was camped up there. It's National Park campground, and during the night, someone poured fuel on my tent, Sarah tent. So his wife brought me down to Affordable Corporate Suite. It's one of these, Cooperman. Lance Cooperman owns them, a whole bunch of them in extended stay. Anyway, she brought me down to the one in Salem off of Roanoke off Starkey Road. And when she left, she told me she paid the security deposit, and I stayed there 17 months. And I sucked up the chemicals that were deliberately put in there, and it's shocking to see what people will do when they can get away with a crime. Anyway, she told me this is how we run you using chemicals. And quite frankly, she says, we're Americans, we're above the law. So anyway, I could go on with the rest, and it's too much to tell. Right now, I stayed 14 months over at Airport Quality Inn. And the last 2 months, they sold it, and the people that come in were remodeling, and I don't know what all, and I had to move. And I came here because I didn't have time to get something else. And it's corporate affordable suites. Now I'm on the run again. She's told me I think it's illegal. I know it's illegal to force feed you drugs, but because I've been so sick, I have shingles. The only medication I'm on is because of the shingles right now, which should have been over. And Nebutone, Relafin, is for the inflammation that inhaling the fumes of the chemicals causes. They demand here to come in once a week and place any chemicals they want to in here in cleaning. I offered to get non-allergenic, and if they would let me clean it, or they can use what